Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing an updated tutorial on how to teach your horse to bow. Now if you have been following my channel ever since I started, you'll know that my first ever video was a tutorial on how to teach your horse to bow. With experience from what I've learned and everything, I'm going to be doing an updated version to help you guys because I feel that my last one was a bit unorganised. So now the first thing you'll need is in fact your horse, and mine has just walked into frame. So this is Boris. I've taught him to bow, and I taught him about a year ago now, coming up to a year, and it has definitely been a very useful trick for stuff like having to get on from the ground, like if I'm bareback and if I don't want to go to the mountain block. He was just eating at the hedge, but he's very keen to get started because he thinks we're doing liberty, but unfortunately we're just doing bow training. So it is very useful and definitely very fun. It is one of my cooler tricks, and so in this video I'm going to be covering everything that your horse may have issues with when learning how to bow, and how to overcome those, including stuff like if they get food aggressive and how to prevent that. So let's go on with the video. Okay, so now to start off, you need to get your horse. Mine has just walked away. Hold on. Okay, he's coming back now. Boy. So the first most important thing to teach your horse is, because if you want to use treats, this is, and I definitely recommend using treats, as it is a much faster process. But the first thing I definitely recommend is teaching your horse how to not come to you for the treats. What I've taught Boris is, as you can see there, he will turn his head away, and that's the way he's going to get the treats. So to teach them this, you start off by just standing here, and obviously that's quite natural that they're going to be nuzzling, biting a little bit, trying to get the food. The way to stop that is you stand here with them, and you just wait for them patiently for them to turn their head away, and then you reward. Part of this does include clicker training, which if you don't know what that is, it's when you click or use any sort of noise. I personally use my mouth, and that marks exactly where the point is, where they've done something correctly, so they know when that is, and then you reward them with a treat. And it's just a way of being a lot more precise with your training. It's definitely much better, and I recommend it. So to start off with this, I'll just show an example. He has obviously learnt this, but I just stand here and wait for him to turn away, and then I reward. Now, horses won't always know what that click means, but as you get more and more, they will learn that it means a treat is coming, and that is when they've done the right thing. Now, you keep practicing this. Boris is a bit hungry, so he's being a bit more snappy. That's another important thing. You have to make sure that they're not hungry beforehand, so give them some hay. Once you've done this and you feel that they're getting the idea, you move on to the other side so they get used to doing it on both sides. Okay, there we go. So if I stand here, wait for him. Yeah, I do want you guys to see slightly. So now I want him to go that side of me because it needs to be more proportional to my body. But you get the gist, and you basically just keep practicing that until they understand it. That is definitely the most important point. It's something that you can use throughout, so you don't want to teach your horse to come towards you for food. So here he comes, and then he turns his head away, because they need to learn that them coming towards you is not going to get them the food, because if they start like nipping and biting and then you reward them, that's going to teach them that they do that and they'll get food. Now on to the second step, which is definitely another really important one when teaching your horse to bow, is teaching them how to back up. So first of all, what I want to do, I'll just take the whip away, is I'm going to put a slight pressure on his chest and then reward. He needs to learn to back up, and that's part of the movement when teaching them to bow, is them backing up and shifting their weight back. Now one of the things is, when you're first teaching the back up, is that it may not be a really dramatic movement. It may just be shifting their weight back, and this is why videos are important, so you can see when that shifting of weight back is. So if I try to do an example of that, where I just shift my weight towards him. Okay, nope, it's not what I want. I'm not going to reward. As soon as he shifts his weight back, that's when I reward. This is definitely one of the things that I didn't practice enough before teaching him to bow, and it made a humongous difference. So definitely something I'd say is very important when teaching them to bow. Hi, baby. Okay, so now if I just show you another thing, you want to be able to do it so that you shift your weight towards them, and then they'll be able to back up. So then I didn't actually touch him at all. I just shifted my weight towards them, and horses are very in tune to body energy. So that is definitely something you want to do practice at, is just shifting your weight towards them and then them stepping back. You can see he did that very well there. So yeah, that is the second step. The third step is getting them, you need to make sure that they're comfortable with you, with you holding their legs. So now this is the leg that I taught him to bow on. We haven't done this in a very long time. You just need to make sure they're fully comfortable with you touching their leg. Okay, right, that was a bit of a mistake there, but we'll move past it. Good boy. So obviously, as I've said, he knows how to do this, so they will offer it, especially when treats are involved, which is nice, is what we want. So I think I'm going to go on to the other leg because he has learnt it that way, but not properly, so it'll just be better to show you guys. Okay, I need to get him so he's in frame. Another key thing, try not to get frustrated, guys. I know it may be difficult. I definitely got frustrated a lot of times. But try your best. Standing. No, we're not leg yielding. Okay, so make sure they are fully comfortable with you holding their leg. You can see he's quite relaxed. He doesn't really care. He's not bothered. Yeah, so that is the first step. And definitely what I would recommend along the way as you teach them is just teaching them to just lift up their leg by tapping them. So you see there, I tapped his leg and then he lifted it up. That's what we want, because then that will help us with the final stage, which is getting them to bow without you holding their leg. So if I just show another example of this, come on, standing, I tap. Good boy. Good. And then you can see that when I make that clicking noise, he reacts because he knows that it means he's going to get a treat. Good boy. Next step, once they're fully comfortable with you holding their leg, and I want you to make sure that you don't skip any steps or just think, my horse, it'll be fine if I don't do that. Like, they are very important steps if you do want to teach your horse to bow smoothly. This process may take a long time. It will definitely be quicker with treats, which is a mistake I didn't make. It took quite a few months because I didn't use any treats, and it's just not as much motivation for them. I can do more videos on using treats and motivation if you would like, and why I use treats, but but I would, yeah, definitely recommend using treats, as it definitely not just speeds up the process, but makes it more enjoyable for them. Like, you can see Boris is very eager, and well, not currently, he's very eager and happy to work. Definitely is the way to go. But so, and also another thing is that these sessions that you do, they might only be 10 minutes long. They might be, okay, I'm not going to say a super long time, they might be more 20 minutes, half an hour long. It really depends on the horse, but if a horse is finding it difficult, I definitely recommend keeping the session shorter, because then it's much more enjoyable for them, and you don't force them to do it. One of the mistakes I kind of made is not forcing him to do it, because he wouldn't have done it if he didn't want to, but I just made it so it wasn't fully enjoyable for him, which is again why treats are good. But yeah, you want to make it so that they are happy to do it. But yeah, so keep the sessions nice and short but frequent. Literally just 5 minutes a day can help, and just them processing that information overnight as well is super helpful for them. You may come back the next day and find that they suddenly understand it a lot more because they've had time to process that information. So yeah, lots of breaks also helps with processing. Right, my horse has left me again. I think he's going to food. Bryce, okay. Horses are quiet, guys. He actually thought we were going to do a bit of liberty there. Okay, let's turn him around a bit. Standing. Good. Yeah, that's a bit too far. Oh well. Next step. So make sure your horse is comfortable with you holding their leg, and then we're going to use our practice from step 2 and ask them gently to shift their weight back while you hold their leg. Good boy. I did that very well, considering I haven't done it on this leg in a very long time. But I'll just show you guys again what that looks like. If I can ask him to move forward. Step. Hold him up, and then now another important thing about this step, which people can get carried away with, is that they tend to want too much at once. When I first started training Boris, he only ever did a very slight shift of weight back at a time. It wasn't major, it was literally just shift weight back, didn't even step back. So him doing that is purely because I've taught him, so don't expect that. It may take quite a few sessions just to get them to shift their weight back, because it is a very hard concept for them to grasp, because obviously it's a bit more of a vulnerable position if they're down on one knee. But yeah, so just definitely take it nice and slow. Definitely take it nice and slow, and make sure you don't ask for too much at once, because you don't want to get frustrated, and just don't expect too much is my best advice. But yeah, are you itchy? Just give you a scratch. It's so scratchy. Such an itchy horse, aren't you? So yeah, I'll demonstrate that a few more times, and then I'll go on to the next step of the process, which is teaching them to start bowing without you holding their leg, which is definitely one of the coolest steps. It is a step that I had to figure out myself, because I couldn't find any YouTube tutorials on it, so I had to figure it out myself, and I managed to do it, which is definitely very cool. And yeah, so I want to share this all with you guys, because I never really found one, but yeah, so I want to make one for you guys. So moving on to the last step, if I can get Boris to come around here. Come on, baby. Human. I'll just get him to line up here for you guys. Okay, so I get him to stand. Now, this is where you just holding their leg. No. Oh. You just learning that if you tap their leg, they lift it up, comes in handy, because we want to use that. So we tap their leg, they lift it up, then you just do this while you ask them to bow. Start adding in this cue of tapping their leg while you do it. So I'll try to do a representation of what that looks like. So ask him to lift it up. Yep, good. And then I tap his leg. Fully bow though. He sometimes does this weird thing where he bends his front leg instead of making it straight, but you get the idea. You kind of, so whatever you've used before, you may have used a lead rope on their head collar and asked them to pull it back. You can do that at the same time as tapping their leg, and basically just add in this cue. Boris, come on. Just add in this cue. Okay, yeah, so I'll try to show you guys, because I've never taught him. I've captured the beast. I've never taught him to bow on this leg without me he stepped on the whip, okay. To bow without me holding his leg, so I'm going to try to do that for you guys. What I mainly do, I tap him to ask him to lift it up, and then I basically help him less by holding his leg. So I tap it and ask him to bow, but he has to figure it out slightly more. That's why I hold it lower to the ground, because when they really learn to bow, they're going to have to learn to lift up their leg, and then maybe it will like drag along the floor. So they need to learn at this stage of teaching that if it drags along the floor, that doesn't mean that we're not doing the trick anymore or something. Do you want scratches? Right, that they're not doing the trick anymore. And yeah, they need to learn that they need to lift up their leg a bit more themselves. So I'll try show you guys this again. Let me just give Boris a scratch. See, he's like a king. He thinks he's a king. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I am. I'll try to do another example for you guys. So ask him to bring his leg up, hold it slightly closer to the ground, and then ask him to bow. Come on. And just like have that constant reassurance. Now his leg is on the ground at this point, and it's getting stopped by the thing, and see, he didn't know how to do that, so I'm not going to reward that because he didn't technically do what I wanted, but I'm not going to get frustrated at him because he is just confused. And if that does happen where they don't do what you want and they start getting a bit frustrated, you just go, no, I'm not giving you any more scratches. You've got to take it back a step, because they're just confused. They're not trying to disobey you, they just don't know what you're asking. Okay, so this step I'm going to try one more time on this leg. If not, I'm going to show you guys. Come here, good boy. I'm going to show you guys on his other leg, because obviously that's the leg that I taught it on. So tap, and then kind of apply a little bit of help to his leg. You can see I'm holding it very low, and then I tap, bow, and you might have a voice command. So he doesn't fully know what I'm asking, so I might give a bit of help. And then, yeah. Good boy! See, that's when he touched his leg to the ground, and I didn't give him that much help. I was slightly holding his leg, but that's the whole point of this step, is fading out you holding their leg. So they get used to the vocal cue more, or whatever cue you have, like tapping their leg. And they start to use that and start learning to lift their leg up more. So if I get him back because he's gone to go eat grass, I will show you what that looks like on the other leg. Okay, I'll show you guys what this looks like on this leg, because this is the leg that I've taught him on. So I just ask him, and I might have his leg really close to the ground. See, I don't know if you can see there, but it's practically touching the ground. And I just ask the cue. Come on, a bit more. Good boy. That is my fingers you're biting. Thank you. I just ask him the cue and let him figure it out himself a bit more. See, again, if they're confused and multiple times, just standing back up again, take a step back and don't fade it out as much. So this is what it should look like as an end result.
Yes.
Good boy. Okay, we went a bit off camera there, so I'll try to do one last one on camera because I don't have many treats left. But like I said, we haven't done this in a very long time, so he is a bit confused. Stand. Good boy. So, bow. No, bow. So I'm not going to award for that because he's not doing what I want. Good boy. Okay, I think that went a bit out of frame, so I'll try one last time to show you guys, because obviously you need to know. Yes. Okay. Good boy. Good. Okay, so that is what the finished result should look like, guys, once you've practiced all this way. So that should be everything you need to know, but if there is any more questions, then please feel free to leave them in the comments or send me a message on Instagram. I'm less likely to reply on TikTok, so I've got tons of messages. But oh, he's offering again. Good boy. Yes. I'll offer him that because he did try, but got a bit confused, didn't you? Oh, sorry. I dropped that. That's you dropping that now. And you just dropped it out as well. Another thing, if you want any tips, feel free to send me videos, or please post videos of you and your learning journey. I would love to see them, and if this helped you guys, please let me know, and that is very much appreciated. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments below or send me a message on Instagram and I'll reply to them. So I hope that helped you all. Thank you very much for watching. Boris is now rubbing his nose on the fence, that's shaking the camera. Thank you very much for watching. Boris, I'm trying to do my outro here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, share if you found it useful, and I'll see you all next time.